Listen to the scroll.
Welcome to the Deerfield Scroll podcast.
We're your host, Luke.
Davin.
And Hayston.
And today we're going to be talking about the place of AI in the classroom and when using AI goes too far and how you might lose your own voice.
So just to start, remember everyone that in Deerfield there is a very strict AI policy. Please do not use AI unless your teacher allows it. And remember to cite it, even if your teacher allows you to use it. So this discussion will just talk about AI. It doesn't mean we're not promoting the use of AI.
Just our opinions on what its presence might be in the classroom. I personally think that AI has a lot of uses, and I know that other schools have a looser AI policy and actually encourage some students to use it and how to use it. Have you guys heard of the AI lab that's in the library?
No.
It's a space where you're actually allowed to use AI while you have supervision in the lab.
I've actually been in that lab for Big History. Shout out to Mr. Pitcher. It was basically a lesson where we had to find resources. So it's like a big research project, but he wanted to make one part of it easy, and that was the finding resources part. So we were allowed to use Gemini, essentially, to find resources. I feel like I said the word resource a lot, but find sources. You know, we were supposed to come up with a really good question, just like one or two prompts that we should ask the AI, that the AI would just spit out a bunch of sources, reliable sources. So it was very interesting, and we also learned how to cite AI, and I think it was a very cool experience. But at the same time, it was underwhelming in some way, I'll be honest.
Using AI was?
Yeah, I guess. Because I feel like the use of Gemini is, especially nowadays, the same as using Google. I feel like without asking the AI, I could have just copy and pasted the same prompt into, google.com and would have gotten similar, if not better results.
So you don't think AI really helped you on that situation?
Yeah, on that situation at least.
But then it begs the question of how much did you, I guess if you came up with an initial question and then prompted the AI, that's different from just asking the AI for your idea. But tedious things like finding sources or going through libraries or encyclopedias and finding information, that's the kind of thing where I think that is something AI excels at, and you shouldn't waste time doing that. But I also think, to a degree, if you let AI choose those sources for you, you're also losing some direction of your own piece.
Maybe if you ask AI to give you a top 10 list of really great sources that you could use for your paper or whatever, and you were to read and decide based off those, like not fully listen to AI on one source, that kind of keeps it personal and human.
I know, as someone who used to be a Grammarly user, they actually implemented this new feature, and it's basically, it rewrites your essay for you, essentially. And I think it stems a question. Let's say you write your own essay. It's 100% yours, no AI involved. But you feel like it's not good enough, and you use that improve feature on Grammarly. Do you think that, of course that counts as AI use, but I'm saying, would that still quantify or qualify as your own essay, or would it just completely lose your voice?
It's not yours.
It's not yours.
It depends on how much it adjusts. I can say I used Grammarly when I was in 7th and 8th grade for actual grammar, like use commas and punctuation, and if I have a comma splice, something of the sorts. But I know what you're talking about when they have those AI generators, and if it fundamentally changes your argument, I think that's too far. And even using it, I think the value in writing obviously comes from choosing your own ideas, but then also refining them. And you just lose value when you do that. I don't know if you lose your voice, but you lose your tone of writing, because everyone has a very distinct writing style. People are more people might like to use dependent clauses more, or just assert their claims. And sometimes AI will take away that voice, and in and of itself, it'll take away your creativity. So I think there's a danger in sometimes using AI for that purpose.
I definitely agree with that, I'd say.
But even if you look at like grammar check, like to a degree, if you get the blue squiggle on Google Docs, how is that really any different from using like Grammarly on Grammar?
It isn't, but I guess Grammarly, I think recently they've promoted Grammarly a lot as a quote unquote AI something something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still subscribed to their emails, so they keep on spamming me a bunch of emails on accounts and deals.
Mm-hmm.
But slowly they've changed their branding from "we fix your grammar" to
"we write it for you."
Yeah, kind of like that, or like you don't want to do an outline, here you go. And I feel like that is where I think we go past the line of, it's definitely an AI tool that, like you said, makes you lose your tone of voice, or it's not really your essay anymore in some way. Do you think AI, generators like, I don't know, ChatGPT could write better essays than humans, or do you think they're just different essays than humans?
Well, what's a better essay? I mean, writing is so subjective to everybody. There's no, obviously there's some writers are better than us. Like Charles Dickens or something is probably a better writer than me, but it's very subjective.
I was kind of getting at it before, but when you have that writing style, sure, you can tell if AI writes, if they use the M dashes and all of that. It's obviously ChatGPT, but I think most of the time you can tell if AI writes something just because it doesn't have that human touch to it, because it's almost so perfect some of the times.
Yeah.
And sometimes what makes, if you read old literary classics, they use long sentences, they use long lists of commas and M dashes, and they have that uniquely human touch to it. And it almost, I think people are, because they use AI now more, just generally, they might not use on every paper, their writing style adapts with that robotic almost sounding and structure. And so even if you just use it for a little bit, you almost learn the AI tendencies, and you also lose that
your own
human voice that I think you can definitely distinguish on some pieces.
If you're reading a scientific notebook for your class,
absolutely no idea.
Yeah, you don't think you'd be able to?
Notebook, no idea.
No idea if it's AI or human.
If you write a good scientific paper, it should sound like an AI written paper, because unlike some essays or poems are free. They're prose and verse, all of that. But if you're writing in a scientific setting, they typically have a structured format. I mean, published papers, they need to have different sections. For example, abstract, where you identify the problem. You have all these different things, and there's a set structure. But when you approach humanities writing, I think it's a completely different realm.
Nice. I think there's one interesting thing I want to point out. I think all three of us, have social media, right? We go scrolling on Instagram or whatever, YouTube. No?
No, I don't have social media.
Oh,
such a lie, Hayston.
I do not.
Okay. Anyways, I scroll a lot on Instagram. I look through posts and not. I'll send the posts from my friends. In general, I've seen a lot of AI written posts. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen so many posts that are it's not just this especially those news outlets. I'm not talking about BBC or stuff like that. I'm talking about minor news outlets that say stuff like, this winter athlete has done the most amazing, glamorous thing on the planet. It's not just the hard effort that led to this moment. He said, you could tell it's AI, even if, even if news outlets are supposed to be quote unquote professional or structured. I feel like not only is it perfect, I feel like you said, there's a certain tone to it that it's why would a human write that? Yeah.
I mean, look at Super Bowl 60. I mean, this year, there were so many AI made ads.
Yeah.
And you think you pay all of this money to have this ad.
They were so bad.
And I remember, I think 3 years ago, Kanye got a slot for a Yeezy ad that he forgot to make. And then the end was recorded. I don't know if you've seen it, this stupid video.
Of course,
saying,
of course.
Come, buy my shoes. They're pretty cool. That's literally all he said. It was this crazy low quality video, and he got so many sales. And I mean, just that, that imperfection, even you see it on writing, there's just that human familiarity with it that you feel comfortable watching and reading, and you're more inclined to do something because of it. And even one other thing on Reels, I don't know if you've gone that, but I'm applying to college. I'm seeing all these college reels, and it's people say, "What'd you get on your SAT?" What'd you get? What'd you get on your SAT? Yeah. And it's all these people I have a tutor, and I use Turbo AI, or I have Tree.ai or something. They promote all of these AI, and you're so surrounded by it. It's honestly sometimes hard to just not turn to it, even if it's just for studying. Do you think AI should be allowed? You should be allowed to use it for studying or for practice problems, or not directly doing your work, but refining what you know about it.
Yeah, I think it could definitely help a lot, but also like for a lot of people, part of the studying process is refining that.
Is struggling.
Like making your own note cards or flashcards, I mean, is a great way of just like putting it in your mind. And then obviously practicing is too. Like,
I feel like it depends. Like I don't know, the turbo AI thing you mentioned, I've seen a lot like those what's your GPA, what's your GPA things. Yeah. I've never actually used one of those, but like from what it seems, I feel like, I don't know, let's say you have a quiz on this, I don't know, text, right? You're supposed to read the text, and I bet a lot of people read the text, they annotate, right? They take notes, they make flashcards or quizzes and stuff like that. So they don't make quizzes for themselves. But I think what these like AI quote unquote do is that they do it for you, like you said, you know, the notes and PDFs. But I feel like, again, it depends. If you're like, I'm too lazy, I'm not going to read this text, let me just upload it to this AI and it's going to give me easy study notes. Will it work is number one. And number two is, if it did, how did that benefit you? Because the point of having that quiz is not, here's 100 or here's an 80. It's more of a, do you understand the material, or you know, do you understand how to read and comprehend these sources? If you're just putting like text into AI and letting it summarize or make notes for you, you're essentially losing that skill of reading or comprehending or understanding. So I feel like in that case, yeah, AI is not the best use of,
an app like Turbo AI, it gives you all the shortcuts you need to become like a better studier. But I feel like the best way that you could go about studying for like your own discipline and just becoming a better student is to figure out the shortcuts on your own, not have them given to you.
I mean, they're also personalized. Some people function better doing certain things when it comes to studying, but I feel like the whole thing goes back to, at least teachers want you to care about the process, care about the learning, not the final grade.
Yeah.
But then when you look at students, oftentimes they want the good grade because colleges see your transcript, or it just, obviously the learning matters, but there's that pressure that you need a good grade for your future. And so that often outweighs just genuine passion you might have for learning, because you say, I need that grade, I'm going to take this shortcut. And teachers might say, oh, don't take it. But sometimes they don't realize that kids can get really stressed, and they might say, oh, don't turn to AI. But when you put a pressure on them, you don't change how much homework they might have. You still give them 70 minutes. I mean, people are going to crack. People have cracked, you know what I mean? And then they get caught for it for a stupid thing.
It's just, I think that stems back to like the school and education system. Like, I'm not talking about AI. There's cheating, right? I bet, you know, I don't know about cheating here too much, but you see all those movies about like, you know, people cheating in intricate ways, passing notes, like the most common thing.
There's this one, what was it? I think it was like actually a Korean movie.
I think it was Vietnamese, but there is this one movie of, I think if you don't know it, you could search it up. It's like a girl helps like her students cheat by giving them like piano signals.
Oh, I've seen that one too.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking about a different one.
Oh, but yeah. Cheating existed, not just AI, but cheating in general exists because of the pressure, right? That need for that good grade, or that need for everything, like good stuff. And I think it stems to pressure, but it's not something we could fix overnight. I think I'm just going to talk about something else, but there was a math competition, the AMC 12. And the distinction award was 150 this year. Like, you had to get 150
Is that really
points.
high?
That's the maximum point you could get, which is like, hello? So I'm not saying I'm blaming that on cheating, but cheating has been a huge scandal in the AMC. So I'm worrying that, you know, it's not just school, it's like other things as well. If there's this many cheaters, the people who actually put the effort in don't get their effort recognized. And, you know, they get a good grade, but what's the point? You know what I mean?
So if cheating is like a natural human thing that you get when you feel pressure in class, then is AI also like a natural, you could say it's also human to use?
I think it's a natural solution to a human problem.
Because we always want the easy way, right? And in some way, artificial intelligence, like you said, it provides that shortcut for you.
Yeah.
It's like,
and even so, I like sometimes I think people end up using AI, and they almost convince themselves that they understand the material and that they could explain it. They almost gaslight themselves, saying, okay, AI summarized this for me. I read over in 30 seconds. I understand as well as if I just read the book. there's no value in reading the book. But if you go through and you're actually underlining and annotating and marking up a textbook, for example, not only are you going to retain it better, but there's just a fundamental understanding that you just also build into your long-term memory.
Moving away from AI in school, how about AI in general? What benefits do you think AI is giving to society right now?
Like when things that someone you know can't teach you, like say, so for me example, I want to make like a easy workout routine I could do in my room or something. I could go to AI for that. Obviously I could go to Coach Bro, but if I went to AI, it's just one click away. And it knows how to get it really personalized based off like my weight and age, like that kind of stuff.
I mean, in the real world, I think obviously AI is revolutionizing a lot of disciplines. But I mean, going back to the question of creativity, I guess, I mean, if you look at like quant, for example, or you look at a lot of computer heavy like degrees or disciplines or work jobs, oftentimes AI is going to absolutely trivialize any job out there that is relating like computer programming. No one needs coders anymore because AI can do it for you. Like AI is just permeating to all these disciplines. And I think that's a good thing. But going back to like the creativity aspect, is it bad that AI is doing that? Is like human touch in the real world, is that necessary?
I think this is like a very philosophical question on how, I think like you said, I think you mentioned this at the very start. It's like the imperfections in text, like imperfections in life, the imperfections of human that kind of show, that's what we appreciate in life in some way. If life was too perfect, it wouldn't be perfect. I feel like in the same way, I feel like it's not because AI is perfect. Of course, it's not. But I'm saying it's not always better than us. I think this kind of stems into creativity. Do you think AI is creative or has its own creativity?
No, it's not. It's everything is taken from.
I mean, I've asked it to come up with like creative titles for something, and it just reuses. You can tell that it just is following this algorithm, like interesting adjective, noun, and verb or something of the sorts.
But don't we do that? Like, no? You think the way AI processes information and outputs them is different from how we process information?
Because we're able to create new thoughts. AI is able to create thoughts that are slightly different than what have already been made.
Well, AI can pick up a pattern of like ChatGPT, for example. Say it has 10 million chats people have asked it. The way that a machine learning model works is that it'll take all these parameters, all of these words that it's learned, it's going to predict the most likely text. It's going to, out of all of the 10 million, if someone asks a question, what is the most common responses that people have gotten? And so it's limited in how much it can learn. It can't go from point A to point C. It has to go from point A to B to C, which I guess is still creativity because it's still learning, but the AI only really learns when it has a human basis that it can mimic.
Yeah.
And so if it has creativity, I mean, sure, but it's not how humans have creativity.
Yeah, I mean, like AI art, the only creativity that you could argue for it is the prompt given to it by the human.
Right. That's like AI. That's a good point. AI art.
Oh yeah.
How creative is AI art?
Not at all, because it's all based off of other human art that's already been made.
Well, but that's how art works. No, do we not get inspiration from like?
I mean, yeah,
it's different. I get it.
I was thinking of that point, like how a lot of art pieces are taking inspiration from others, and like what the difference is between that and AI. But AI is kind of just a mashup of everything with no thought of its own, where we do have the thought, and we're able to make it our own. Whereas I can't really think of how to explain it.
I mean, it's difficult. I mean, you can't really. I mean, that's a good point. If you say AI just takes other people's artwork or like writing, for example, but to a degree, humans do the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It's not
very similar.
But it's very like, I mean, if you read your friend's paper and you like maybe a sentence that they use or a sentence structure or an adjective and you take that, what's the difference from AI reading a paper and noticing that and wanting to give that suggestion to you when you ask for it? I mean, sure, you are the one who went and found it, but aren't you also just almost like an algorithm yourself, finding what you like and taking what you are looking for?
So I guess AI does something similar to human.
It tries to map a human brain.
It's so hard to say the word similar when we, separate ourselves from artificial intelligence. Right? But I wonder, do you think artificial intelligence would ever quantify as life or actual intelligence? That question makes sense.
Yeah, just a heavy question. I mean, I think it depends on the scale you look at it from. I mean, if that makes sense. Because if you zoom out, like this kind of an arbitrary zoom out, but if you can zoom out enough on anything, then you can essentially equate two things. If that makes sense. Like it depends on how abstract, like there's levels of abstraction to things, how much you specify. So if you classify humans and AI as being able to think for themselves or make their own decisions, then sure, to a degree they're the same. But if you look at humans have a flesh, and AIs don't. But if you look at it, AIs have a brain and humans have a brain, even though an AI's brain might be GPUs and data processing and whatnot, a human brain, but fundamentally they work in a very similar way. So I think if you go out far enough, you could say to a degree that an AI and a human have a similar level of intelligence. I don't know if being, like if they're the same being, but if you look at it in a certain way, I think they definitely could.
You could say for emotional based decisions or reactions, you could maybe say AI is smarter
for emotional decisions.
Yeah,
emotional,
because obviously we have like our ingrained beliefs, but AI has like every ethical resource to make its decision.
But I think that ethics and philosophy and all of the studies around that's not about looking at what other people's, I mean, sure, philosophers might draw on other people's beliefs, but the whole realm of philosophy is that it's new and it's different, and it's not bad that it's different. AI recognizes it's something bad and it avoids it. So even in an emotional circumstance, I mean, I can see how it might be better because it might be trained on all these scenarios, what's the best response, but sometimes what you need is just another authentic human. I don't know.
I think the development of AI is just fascinating in some way, because in like the past 5 years, I'm just gonna mention this as a stat because I never knew this. You remember Intel, right? The big chip company. It still exists. They used to make chips for Apple computers before Apple said, we're gonna make it ourselves. They actually got kicked out of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Nvidia actually replaced them because of how I think it grew like 1,200% in the past 5 years. And the development of AI is so crazy because I remember back in middle school, I think it was like 6th grade or something, when ChatGPT first came out.
It felt like a superpower.
Yeah, me and my friends would actually troll it. I would say, something like, "What's 10 plus 9?" It would say 19. I was like, "No, it's 21." And then it would start apologizing. Like, "Oh, I am so sorry for that mistake." But now if you do that, it's gonna be like, "Oh, you're referencing the interesting meme of where you used to troll me and say that." And I'm like, "Oh my god." Like, it knows what it's doing now. And the development of AI is so fascinating that if you were to tell anyone, like the iPhone was first invented, the iPad first came out like 20 years ago, for example. If you ask anyone, did you know we're gonna build an intelligence that you could talk to and would respond to you almost like a human and would give you resources, search the internet, search everything, and write you essays, could write you essays? Would they believe it?
Right.
I mean, yeah. They thought we were gonna have flying cars. We still don't have that.
I mean, I remember saying, "Oh, we're gonna have flying cars in 2025 or 2030," but I don't think AI was ever what people were thinking. I mean, flying cars seem more realistic than having this robotic being.
I guess flying cars were never practical in some way.
Yeah. I mean, but you see in like even older movies from like 70s or 80s and whatnot, like this big robotic AI-like intelligence, and it seemed so crazy to people at that day and age. Just kind of back to what Dad was saying.
It was robots.
Right? It was robots. Oh, that'd be crazy if that was real. But now there's videos of literal robots doing martial arts, and yeah, like the Terminator is a great example. But you see people doing like literally martial arts, and you see these robot dogs, and you just see AI doing like literally these human. I mean, obviously they don't look human, but they're doing these human-like tendencies. They're taking shape like humans, and you just never like you can say, oh, AI is dangerous. It definitely is, but you know, will AI ever even turn on humans? Will they assimilate into society?
Yeah, the fact that those are actually becoming, you know, concerning questions or questions we have to ask ourselves is shocking.
I know. And it goes, I mean, we started this conversation with creativity in the classroom, and you look at it and it's so much bigger than that. And I think even to a degree, worrying about its implications in the classroom into learning and whatnot still are important. But when you look at the bigger picture of things, they almost mellow out. I mean, I don't know if the school would agree with that. And I'm not saying condoning the use of AI, just from a more philosophical lens. I mean, it goes for anything. Like, what is the value in what you're doing? But like, what is the value in not using AI if it's going to become our world one day?
That was one of the topics we had in debate. Had a debate tournament.
What'd you say for it?
Well, I was on the side that like you shouldn't be using it, even though it's going to be a resource in the future, just because it doesn't promote like. So the opposing side said that you should definitely be using it to try and prepare yourself for the future. But my side, me and my partner had to say like you should just be trying to strengthen your brain rather than like build skills that you can learn quickly. Like you can learn how to ask questions fairly quick, but like your brain development at this time is so much more important.
I remember last year, you guys wouldn't know this, but I mean, last year's when Deerfield really realized that there's an AI problem, and we had it was a school meeting. Dr. Bruder went up and gave a speech about how our brains are a treasure trove, but she used this example of this big firm in New York, and she had all these applicants. Like, it was her friend, and she had all these applications for these top positions, and they looked incredible. I mean, they knew exactly what they were talking about, answered all the questions perfectly. They were perfect. Everything was great. And so for the first time, she decided, because everyone was so qualified, I'm going to do in-person interviews. And she asked all of these. It was like 25 applicants, and there's like 30, and a couple of them weren't good, and they all came. And the 25 who had stellar applications could not hold a conversation. They had no idea what they were talking about. Compared to their speech, compared to their writing, their speech was so unrefined. But when they looked at the 5 who did not use AI, like the whole thing was that those 25 people used AI, they could hold conversations so much cleaner and smoother. They were more articulate. They knew what they were talking about. And like that goes, sure, you can use AI, but like, what is it serving if you aren't even learning anything? I mean, in some jobs it doesn't really matter, but like if you're a doctor and you're in surgery, you should really, like, you say you really shouldn't, but now they're even implementing AI and robots, pattern recognition into surgeries and whatnot.
Yeah, don't they have like AI robots that can perform surgeries?
They have, yeah, I think they have like micro robots.
I don't think they're trying to implement that into big surgeries, but I won't be surprised
if it's someday.
I think I've seen it for like brain or something.
I mean, but like you think of a doctor who went through medical school and they didn't have AI. Maybe this is like 30 years ago, and they go and like a quick search to AI, and you give it a diagnosis, and it can give you like a recommendation for what to do. You know what I mean? Like if a patient comes in and you might like forget how to do some kind of procedure or whatnot. Like, is it okay to then use AI for that, even if you've gone through the learning yourself versus just having AI teach you?
I guess it's like fact checking, if that makes sense. I think most doctors, like, I don't know, at least the doctors I go to, they're like, oh, you have a sore throat, you know?
Blah, like the textbook.
Yeah, it's probably the flu or the cold, or you know, COVID's going viral. That's what they would say. But I bet for more advanced things, they would check with other doctors, or maybe even go cite the textbook, or even search up Google. I feel like searching up AI is fine, but I feel like relying on it is a different thing. Like, let's say I think it's pneumonia. The other doctor also says it's pneumonia. The textbook also probably says it's pneumonia. It's like a bunch of pneumonia symptoms. Let me just double check. The AI says no, then we're going to rediscuss. But I'm saying, if the AI says no, it's no. It's not like that. It's okay to double check with AI, but again, relying on it or having your base as AI is a whole different conversation.
What's the difference if it was one doctor saying no?
Well, I guess you would ask them, why not?
Well, then if you if you have this fact checking idea, is it wrong? Say you're in a history class, and you've done the textbook reading, and before class you want to double check that you're learning about the World War One, who were in the Allied powers, who were the Central powers, what was happening with the Ottoman Empire, and you want to clarify that before you have a discussion in class. Is that wrong to do if you're not relying on it?
I personally, again, I think Deerfield says no to that.
No, but absolutely not.
Personally, I would say, sure, why not? I don't see the big difference. I, at least, don't see the big difference in, going back to the historic reading and, finding the list or maybe searching through it again. But I feel like, it's such common information, like the World War One Allied forces, that at that point, you don't even need to use AI. You could just go search it up on Google.
Look it up, yeah.
But if you do use AI, for example, you're not like a criminal, I would say. That's what I personally think. And Google even pushes those answers anyways. If you search that up on a computer right now, the first result will be an AI overview anyways. But I'm just saying, again, if you're in the middle of a conversation and you're like, oh, I got to mention this, and you go search it up on AI and then, find your answer, it's a whole different thing. But if you're just doing that to fact check, I personally think that's fine.
Hayston?
What do you think?
I mean, it's just kind of about that discipline point, like I was saying earlier. Like, you should be able, as long as you're not relying on it, I can see Davin's point fully. Like, it's fine, but you should be able to do it on your own. Like, the only reason I would see myself ever doing something like that is like, I've been doing it like every day. I'm always on. No. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like I'm always on top of it, and it's just like one last. Yeah.
I mean, I think the more you use AI, and obviously when you don't get caught for it, the less you think you're gonna get caught as well. I think that's part of it. I mean, people might use it in school, they don't get caught. Maybe their friend gets caught, they're like, oh, maybe I'll back off for a bit, then they go back to it. But it's that thing, like if you're not, like, even if you look at people who do like drugs, for example, and they say you push yourself to the limit, you overdose, and then you're fine, and you say, what's my next limit? And that doesn't have to just go, like, then go for like adrenaline addicts, they do crazy stunts, whatnot. It's almost similar to AI, not that you're killing yourself, but you're risking it all.
But I think, okay, well, the drug example is a different example, but I feel like for AI, I think I liked your Dr. Bruder example. Again, I wasn't here last year, of course, but if you rely on AI, sometimes it's really obvious like that. Sometimes like who you wouldn't expect, or it's someone that's so quiet, or okay, I'm not giving a good example, but you know what I mean? If you have stellar grades, and I think that's one of the reasons why colleges do in-person interviews and other things like that. If you have like a perfect resume, you have stellar grades, and you have this like really cool college application essay, and on the in-person interview, you sound like you
flat.
You sound like you could barely speak English, then it's like,
what was all of that?
Yeah, what was all of that? Not only did it not benefit you, it's like you just relied on it. You know what I mean?
And even if you use AI to leverage college, and you get there, and then you realize, okay, you repeated your way through the class, you're there. Are you just going to keep using it? Because if you have that gap in learning where you won't understand these classes you're taking, because say you're advanced because of AI, you just have to keep using it. If you might be too far gone to go back, and just the cycle, you push it off, and then that learning is forever gone unless you really sit down and take the time to go through it.
But I feel like it's very hard to rely on AI, especially at like a school like this. Recently, I'm in Latin 1, and they changed their tests from all online to all offline on paper. So, you no longer, I'm not going to say anything, sorry, but it's like, most of our classes, it's not just Latin, of course, but most of our classes,
like English classes,
English classes, we have in-class like writing papers, and not only is it's not trying to make us suffer by, they're not trying to make us suffer, obviously. They're trying to say, don't rely on AI, or don't always rely on technology, not because Where in the past, it's because we're trying to teach you something and it's going to be useful later on. And if you were to make, like you said, if you were to make it a college to that, and let's say you somehow get a job with all that cheating. Actually, you know what? Wait, I'm just going to ask a different question. Let's say you use AI and you make it all the way. You somehow become a millionaire and all that. Would you feel guilty of doing that?
Would you feel guilty of running a corporation that scams people and being a millionaire? I mean,
it's not scamming.
I feel like no matter what, if you're a millionaire, you'll probably feel guilty a little bit because like the most ethical situation is that you're like a middle class person and you're not like too rich, but you're able to live life happily, but you're not at a point where you have much more money to give to other people. Like if you're a millionaire, you have money that you would be able to give to a lot of people, but you're keeping it to yourself. So like in some ways you'll always feel bad, in my opinion. If I was a millionaire.
I mean, the example is just interesting because say you used it to get on everything. Like you didn't use your brain at all. You use AI 100% of the way to become a millionaire, and now you're at the top. You can't go any further, whatever it might be. I mean, why would you need to feel guilty? Do you feel guilty if you use AI on anything? Like, say you use a little, like on an English paper, you do like a little bit of AI. Do you feel guilty turning it in and getting a good grade back?
It's such a hard topic. It would depend, right? I feel like it would depend because cheating, right? I bet. I don't know. I'm just gonna use a drug example like you did. If you cheat once, let's say on a test, for example, you might feel really guilty about it. You might be scared of being caught. But like you said, if you do it multiple times,
you're finding the edge.
Yeah, you're finding the edge, and at one point, you just don't feel guilty about it anymore. It's something that's wrong, but
I think it goes back to you literally gaslight yourself into saying it's not wrong. I mean, you can do that for anything. You can do something. Say you hurt your friend's feelings or something, and then you say, "Oh, it's their fault, not mine," or something of the sorts. It goes for anything, and I mean, AI. It's just another facet of that.
Yeah.
But then, how inherently wrong is it to use AI? I mean, at one point, can you take advantage of AI? Is it just serving you? As in, it's like a Google search, or does it get to a point where it doesn't become a human, but where using it is taking advantage of it?
Do you think back in the day? Okay, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. Do you think when like the internet first came out, or let's say like a really powerful search engine like Yahoo or Google came out? Shout out to Yahoo fans, but
my dad uses it.
When that first came out, you think when that first came out, like schools went like no searching up on Google, no searching up on Yahoo. You think they did that? You think they did that?
Like phone, like if you had a phone and
What about calculators?
I mean, yeah. I mean, think about the transition from a flip phone to an actual phone, and then your good point, the internet. It's probably the same. You learn to integrate it. I mean, now the AI is not AI. The internet is so normalized. It is literally. I mean, it is. You use it for everything.
Yeah, it's everybody's life.
It's yeah. And I think AI is going to get to that point.
You think AI is going to be integrated into schools, right? It's already starting to be integrated into our life, like Google AI mode, for example.
Yeah, I mean, like Google AI, there's a point where not every single search was like responded to with a Google AI overview. Now every single one, the first thing you see is that AI overview before you see anything else. And when it's there, even if you have to do like 3 scrolls to get to a YouTube video or an actual link, I mean, that is 3 scrolls worth of your time, and you can just look at the AI overview, and it's right there.
And I feel like maybe it's just me, but like you said, when the AI mode first came out, it was like a whatever, like you said. But now that it's fully integrated, I actually just look at the Google AI overview. I'm not relying on it, but it's like it really brings your eye there. So
I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
It highlights text that are keywords in your search, and you look at it. And then unknowingly, you just used AI. And so teachers would say, absolutely no AI. No AI. And then you look, like if you look up a term in your book and it brings up the definition on Google AI, isn't that still using AI?
Okay.
I mean, sure, it serves a different purpose. They use AI on a paper, but if you use AI for a definition, but you still used it, No, then it also brings in that argument. Even like if you use it for anything, you use it for everything.
Yeah, it's like in Spanish class, like the difference between cheating and not cheating is like you're allowed to use the maybe Webster's,
the Google Translate or something.
like you're not allowed to use Google
Dictionary,
Translate,
like a
but
dictionary.
you're allowed to use like an English Spanish dictionary, like which is the only difference is that you have to search for the word in the dictionary,
Versus just
control
popping
F.
it in.
Yeah, like there's almost no difference. You find them just as quick, but one is fully I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're both pretty similar.
Oh wait, sorry. What do you think of AI generation? I don't mean text generation. I mean like image generation, video generations, audio
Like
generation.
deepfakes.
Yeah, stuff like that. I didn't know we had a section on that for a handbook. It's
He's-
1.2.1.
Davin's looking at the handbook right now.
1.2.1.
I remember when deepfakes first came out, it was a really big thing.
Yeah,
And I mean, it was crazy. I don't know about anyone else, but I really haven't seen a lot on deep. I mean, I see deepfakes being used for like funny Trump
yeah.
dancing in the car.
Trump
Versus,
taking-
wait, what was like the thong song of him in the car? Like,
Yeah.
what? I mean, I don't see it being misused because you can. It's pretty bad. I mean, AI's rapidly learning what actual like reality looks like, and that's concerning. And I think to a point, I mean, some people are genuinely just trusting AI stuff now.
all right, so now we get to the government.
What?
How long has the government had deepfakes for?
Oh, is this a conspiracy theory?
I know you guys have seen all the videos about like
I haven't seen any of it.
No, my
no way.
my feed is Trump making Korean kimchi.
Yeah,
There's-
mine is like Trump on like a dog's face doing something. Like
There-
no one at 3 a.m. No one's gonna believe you.
Oh yeah.
There's so many videos about like the like public announcements from political figures and how they're deep fake.
Mm.
Like part of their shirt will change halfway through, or like something on their lapel or whatever just won't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, proof it's deep fake. We've had this forever. Do you think they could hide that?
Probably.
Birds are fake, guys.
No, bird.
Yeah, birds.
The cameras are
thighs.
fake. Cameras.
I mean,
Sorry.
I definitely think that it could reach a point where people don't even realize it's a deep fake, which
Yeah.
then
think-
where's the value in like video you're getting, like videography at all? If you take a video of something,
I think it stems. I think the most famous example was GPS. Okay, I think it stands for Global Positioning System,
mm-hmm.
but that actually was used by the U.S. to spy on the Soviet Union. Don't fact check me, but it was something like that,
Mhm.
where it was for government use only. And it was like a couple of years later when they released it to the public. So I
Yeah.
think that's where like the deep fake thing scans from. It's like, you know, the government had GPS before the public's knowledge. What else do they have that they're hiding from public knowledge? I think that's where the conspiracy theories stem
I mean,
from.
they have everything. They have the stuff that stuns your legs and you can jump like a 30-foot building.
No.
That's been like years now that they've had that.
Wait, what?
Government, they have like these things
Like
that
in Roblox, like
you
the jump
put-
coil,
you put on. Yeah, that's like you put
You know
it
what I'm
on your
talking about?
leg. Yeah,
the jump coil.
Hey.
the blue one.
Oh, wait.
Natural disasters.
Hayston, if you don't have social media, where are you reading this?
Yeah, that's a good point.
No way.
Hayston went through his phone before. He goes, I don't have social media, and he showed me Instagram was deleted, TikTok was deleted, Snapchat was deleted. Where are you getting that
Where have
from?
you seen this then, huh?
Oh, that's
You
like-
see it on Outlook.com?
I have resources.
The New York Times? Where are you reading
That's like
this?
you saying you turn your phone for phone week.
I've-
You just
I've
go
known
on a
about-
computer.
I've known about this jumping thing since I was like 10 years old.
Whoa. I've never heard of this.
Me and my family talked about this. We talked about all the military weapons. They have that. Oh, they've I forget if it's like America or Russia, but they've had like the sound waves that just like completely like
Mess with your brain.
destroys everybody's brain.
I mean, look at like Area 51. People say, "Oh, it's a lab testing site." I don't know, but
Wait,
I mean,
okay.
it just goes back to like the government point, even for AI.
yeah.
I mean, people might think one thing and the government say another. Who knows if it's right or not? But like, if you don't know about it directly, and you don't assume it's AI, like how's it affecting you?
But that does bring a good point. I usually think that ChatGPT is the original AI, or at least the original like product of an AI.
I feel like ChatGPT is the
Gemini, like the other AIs like Gemini, they came out so fast after ChatGPT, or at least it feels like it. They came like a year or two after. So I'm like, if ChatGPT was so revolutionary, how come, similar AIs, they're different, but they're similar, come out in such a short time?
But, I mean, there's so many AIs. I mean, I see reels on Instagram that say best AI to use for different disciplines. And it goes, math, you use this, or resource gathering, you use this, or general problem creation, you use this. And so there's these specified disciplines and like areas of focus that certain AIs excel at versus others.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the textbook, the student handbook, I mean. 1.6.1 is about plagiarism. And it basically is it's talking about plagiarism is the use of another person's or artificial intelligence generated ideas or work without proper acknowledgement. And it says they actually do specify. So it's not like never use AI. It actually seems like just don't use it on tests, quizzes, or exams. Don't copy and paste text without, quotation marks or properly citing it. Because the teachers, at least a lot of the teachers, they're fine with us using the AI overviews things because it's so integrated. So I feel like Deerfield isn't against the use of AI. They're against the use of using AI for an advantage.
I mean, but say when AI becomes so ingrained, like you do a Google search or something and it to some realm, using AI to write a paper becomes as normalized as looking something up. Like, will they still have a problem with it then? I mean, teachers even use AI to write their quizzes for them. Apparently, teachers got this big list of what they are permitted to use AI for and what they aren't. And it brings back that question of if your teacher can use it to write your quiz, why can't you use it to take it?
Your teachers are allowed to have your phone. Why aren't we allowed to have it?
I mean, I guess they've gone through, they've learned, say you have a teacher who is a doctorate in their subject, whatever. They've gone through the learning for it. I mean, sure, but...
They've spent the time.
They spent the time. I can see it.
They don't need to do the crime.
Yeah. What is this?
We could visit common rooms without permission, apparently.
You didn't know that? Oh, some common rooms are open common rooms.
I didn't know people could do that. I don't know. Probably because we're in Doubleday Johnson.
I mean, I guess it's kind of shifting focus, but I think recently, at least at Deerfield, there's been... I don't want to directly say this, but I think the school is taking AI severely more seriously than they are other punishments.
Yes.
I mean, it's to be expected because obviously but I mean, they want to enforce that AI is a big no-no, but this is not specific to Deerfield. I mean, if you see someone say they are doing cocaine or something, right? And they're caught and they're doing it with their friends versus someone who used AI to write a paper. I mean, you'd think like, oh, they're different scales. You know what I'm trying to say? But also, I mean, are they both worth being kicked out for?
Well, there are different reasons of being kicked out. And I think,
like, how do you equate them? Because essentially, if you get kicked out for doing cocaine, if you get kicked out for using AI.
I don't like the word kicked out. Like, they say this as well. When you're on cocaine, I think you have like a 95% chance of getting addicted to it because of what it is.
Yeah.
And they don't kick you out. They highly recommend that you leave to get help, or that you're not ready for Deerfield, or I don't know, Deerfield's not the right place for you at the current moment, is what they actually say. I think artificial intelligence, do they kick? They have a better word for that, but it also depends on the severity, right? I think, like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have a 2-strike rule for AI.
It goes for anything. If you can only get kicked out for something, let's say Deerfield, if you if you break the major school rule 2 times in the same category. So you could have an AI violation, a CVC violation, and a slow violation, and you won't be kicked out. But if you have 2 slow violations or 2 CVC violations, then you get kicked out. So the whole thing, I mean, I will say Deerfield does not go out of their way to punish students, as in they try to always find the good in, I think, every situation. And people might say, oh, no. But I know kids at other schools who, like, one example is I know someone who lit a candle and they got a DC because of it, and they actually got a college offer revoked from a very good school.
Really?
What do you mean by candle lit?
They lit because there's a well, you can't have any fire in the dorm, and they lit a candle in their room, and they'll
just like a
apologize,
normal
candle.
Okay.
And they had to apologize in front of the whole dorm, saying they risked their lives. I mean, some schools go out of their way to get you kicked out. And I will say Deerfield, they're not lenient to be lenient. They're lenient because they want everyone to succeed and recognize themselves that what they're doing might not be the best for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I think Deerfield is very, and if you do get like AI, it's kind of you use it or you don't. And I will say, if there's a slow violation, like if you're drinking, you're doing drugs, do some kind of other thing, there's a hairier line between did you do it or not, or how bad is this?
Mm-hmm. I think that makes sense. I feel like.
Can I switch topics for a second?
Sure. Okay, let's end it first. Sure. Are we done?
Yeah,
this is pretty long. Okay,
we've been talking for an hour.
Oh wow. Okay.
My online lesson starts in like 8 minutes.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming to this episode of Scroll. Hopefully you enjoyed. Come back next week.